advertisers.
Welcome back. We're here at the River Valley Women's Clinic with the director, Tammi Kromenaker. Tammi, interesting day here with Governor Dalrymple signing these bills. A couple things you've been quoted as saying is, look, it's up to the governor, his constitutional oath, to veto these bills. One, you're also saying that the heartbeat bill is blatantly unconstitutional. How specifically?
The Supreme Court has held over and over again, even with multiple attempts to revisit the issue, that a state cannot ban abortion prior to viability or 24 weeks. And the heartbeat ban clearly violates that edict.
But isn't viability a sort of subjective term? I mean, doesn't a heartbeat constitute viability at some level?
I believe the medical definition of viability is the ability to survive outside of the uterus. So no, at 6 weeks, a fetus cannot survive outside the uterus. Viability in some states has been defined as, 20, 22, 24. The Supreme Court has said 24.
So from the Roe v. Wade decision that also says, but also that right must be balanced against the state's two legitimate interests, talking about the baby and obviously the mom as well. And even Governor Dalrymple in his statement talks about, look, this will obviously test the boundaries of Roe v. Wade, but the Supreme Court has no decision against it. Are you saying that you're a better legal scholar than our governor?
No, I certainly am not, and I rely on our legal scholars that we do have, the Center for Reproductive Rights. And if you look at the Supreme Court itself, they have upheld the Roe v. Wade and Casey v. Planned Parenthood decision over and over and said states cannot go as far as North Dakota did today.
Is there ever a chance that the Supreme Court can make a wrong decision?
Oh, sure. The Supreme Court can make a wrong decision, but I believe that Roe v. Wade, as we've seen in public opinion polls, over 70% of Americans believe it's settled law. Abortion, it should be legal, because just because you ban legal abortion doesn't end abortion. It just bans safe abortion.
Now, we all know this is a hot topic. Obviously, there was a stand-up for women rallies yesterday all across the state. The governor knows this. I want to give you a chance to speak almost to the governor directly. He came out with a written statement, no media, kind of shocked. I want to get your thoughts on him not going out and actually making verbal statements, taking questions about this issue.
Well, I think it's disappointing, and I think that, Governor George Sinner back in 1991 had a very long well thought out argument as to why he vetoed the restrictive bills back then. And so I think that Governor Dalrymple unfortunately didn't make himself available. I've been hearing from media people that he's gone, he's on the western part of the state. I think it's just a way to take the heat off of himself and let the courts decide it. And it's unfortunate that he didn't give better reasons, I believe, for not vetoing these bills, when clearly, like we saw in the rallies yesterday, and clearly like we've been seeing all over just social media sites, people of North Dakota don't want this kind of extreme legislation in our state.
I know in your statement you talked about, obviously, the women's health, reproductive rights. I look at SB 2305 saying, hey, a doctor's got to have permission to go into a hospital here locally just in case something goes wrong in the abortion, and yet you're still against that. It seems almost hypocritical to me, because isn't that the right thing for women's health, to give them a chance in case something goes wrong to have a doctor attend to them?
First of all, abortion is a very safe procedure. Less than 1% of all abortions performed have a major complication. Most complications can be handled in office. In our clinic, we've only had one woman who's had to be transported to the hospital in the last 10 years. And she actually received no treatment at the hospital because by the time the ambulance came, her bleeding was under control. Hospitals don't need our doctor to come and perform any follow-up procedures at the hospital. The hospitals have very capable physicians who can handle any type of emergency. And the confusing part about how Senate Bill 2305 is saying that the doctor has to have privileges at one of the two hospitals. Sometimes complications don't occur or don't flare up until 2-3 weeks after the procedure, and is a woman supposed to travel back to Fargo from Williston to receive treatment? She can go to any competent physician in the state in a hospital and receive treatment. Complications from abortion present like miscarriage complications. Any physician in an emergency room can handle those complications.
There's obviously going to be litigation with this. It sounds like you guys are going to start on this very, very early. Talk to us about the litigation costs and who's going to end up paying for that for you guys.
Well, we will pay those costs. The Center for Reproductive Rights does pro bono work for us. However, we do have to maintain local counsel. Our fees come from our patients. Our legal fees, how we pay all of our bills, come from our patients. We don't receive government subsidies. We don't receive any funding from anywhere else. And so we truly believe that these funds should not fall on the shoulders of the women we serve. And for the first time in our 15 years, we are going to accept donations for a legal fund that will help cover the cost of this litigation.
If you don't win this litigation, will this clinic be closed down for good?
Well, obviously, if House Bill 1456 is allowed to stand, then there would not be a clinic in North Dakota. Abortion would be illegal, so we would have to explore our options as to what we would do next.
Anything else you want to share?
No.
Thanks for your time. We'll be back with Representative Betty Grandy right after this.